Centra Gas is a team of dedicated employees who are active participants in our community. Our company proudly supports the communities we serve by sponsoring a variety of important local events. You can depend on Centra to help build Manitoba's future.
It's time for the Safeway Select La-Z-Boy Furniture Gallery's Best Seats in the House contest. One lucky Safeway Club card holder will win these beautiful his and hers recliners, courtesy of La-Z-Boy Furniture Galleries. These 5 lucky Safeway Club card holders have won $25 grocery gift certificates, courtesy of Canada Safeway, and are automatically entered to win the La-Z-Boy Furniture Gallery's grand prize. The grand prize winner will be announced during the broadcast of the Safeway Select Final, right here on Global.
Slip over to the other B-side semifinal game. Kerry Burtnick, Dave Bomer, fourth end. Kerry Burtnick with an open house to draw for 3.
Dave Bomer had socked one behind there, and Kerry was able to pick it out on his first one. Actually, the credit in this end goes to Jeff Ryan, who made 2 more really good doubles. Now it's a 5-1 game. I don't think we'll see a whole lot more rocks there.
Nice 3. Perfect end for Burtnick.
And back to our game where, of course, as a start, we got a corner guard and a rock in the house, and now Jeff's team electing to guard that. Very similar to the strategy that we saw this afternoon against Kerry, forcing Mark to make a decision about what he wants to do with it.
Good shot. Follow it, baby.
Well, yeah, it's fine. Give me your wet. Give me a regular weight.
Charlie Selena.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa!
Ideally, what he'd like here is for him to remove the guard and stay as a corner, something that they can use. But unfortunately, it rolls just too far.
So Jeff Stoutton will ask Gary Vandenberg to put up another guard.
Just by itself. Just by itself.
He certainly doesn't want to come into the house on this. Starting to die, me. Sit down. Looks like he's just going to creep into the house.
Yeah. All right, Gary.
Now you got to start all over again. Sets up a double here, possibly, and a roll.
Another one of our select facts. This is the first year that Portage Perry has ever held the Safeway Select.
And they've done a great job, and that's what happens often when you get into communities where the community actually does that. They get together and they host a fabulous event, and certainly Portage is, this arena complex is just terrific for an event like this. Well, he didn't get the roll the way he wanted it. He was hoping to use the corner guard, but it's not a bad shot because it forces Jeff to take a look at it. It's pretty difficult to remove without touching your own or to keep another shot in play.
Right out.
Rather than
Normal.
attempt to guard it, which if you don't put the perfect guard on, then Olson has a raise back for 2. He's elected to just punch it out the side.
Okay, Gary.
And a nice pick by Gary Vandenberg. If you are in the Portage area tomorrow, day passes will be $10 for adults and $5 for juniors.
Now this is an interesting call. If Mark was really interested in going after them at second stones, he's got the corner guard. He could elect to go around the corner and ignore that and see what Jeff does with it. But he's, I think, just a little bit nervous about going at Jeff too hard. Because, as you've been saying, Don, Mark has to win this.
Mark's going to, he has been playing fairly conservatively all the way through it. And Jeff, just waiting for his opportunity. Jeff's actually put the pressure on, let's face it. And if it wasn't for a couple of sensational shots like Nichols' triple and things like that, otherwise.
5.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right.
Thanks for coming out. No, you're right.
That Jeff could have been up 2 or 3 to nothing on this game, but Mark may get a nice double in the last end. So actually, Jeff's been putting the heat on him pretty good.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Okay.
And a slight roll.
Yeah, when you see you're not going to get the total roll, you don't want to get it.
3/4 weight.
You don't want to roll over just to make it a little easier for Olson.
Go it. He's moving it on me again. Hard.
Yes.
Hard.
Pete referring to the fact, I guess, that when Mark's holding the broom and
Hard.
he's in motion, I guess he's tightening it up. Or
Whoa. Whoa.
It's gonna roll the other way.
No, he doesn't. I played with him. He doesn't.
A little bantering there between Jonathan Meade and Pete Nichols.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Yep. All right. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
looking for the roll.
Close. Not quite.
Well, it makes it a little bit easier now for Pete to roll. He doesn't have to roll as far.
All right.
Bumper weight.
Let's go to the end again.
Okay.
On shots like this, certainly because it's wide open, you can play either turn, and often, you know, a player will have their own preferred choice, and Pete clearly wanting to throw the in-turn.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yep. Whoa.
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 That's fine. Good try.
Roll a little too far, but it still stays in the rings.
No, it's not bad, because I think in this situation, Stoughton probably, boys, you have to make really tight to that guard to be able to hit and stick there.
No way.
Even if he does, Olson would probably be wise to go in behind the guard.
Close.
Because Olson would be able to get shot rocked. Like if Mark, or pardon me, if Jeff rolls out here, then Mark goes right in behind that guard. So it's not a bad shot there by Peter Nichols.
Have to squeak it to stick it. Let's just make sure we hit it.
Squeak it to stick it, meaning he has to squeak by the guard, as Don just said, to be able to stick around. But then as Jeff followed up with the second comment, which was like, let's make sure we hit it first.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you tick the guard, you can knock it into the house.
Easily.
Draw for 3, 4. Oh, look at this. See, that's...
You saw Mark going up there in position.
Well, that was they should have been on that all the way. Like, you can't play that too cute either, because he was trying to get the draw.
You were hitting it harder? No. I thought we were by. Obviously. That was brutal. All right.
Jeff's not pleased.
We had our two sweepers so confused.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't knock it into the house. Actually,
Pete,
gets a little more, but he knocks it in.
Let's take it so we're shot him next to the edge of the 4, and in case he hits and rolls behind.
It's interesting, the comments with Jeff and Jonathan. Like Jeff was saying, what, you know, you thought we're going to hit it hard enough. And Jonathan saying, no, I thought we were by.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the front end, it's really difficult because they're getting two completely different messages.
Mixed signals, to say the least.
So the end shaping up very nicely.
I don't think it's heavy. Go
Mark Olsen, a chance to score 2 and take the lead at the break.
Easy.
Right here, a foot short of the tee.
Yep.
Foot short of the tee. Whoa, a foot short of the tee.
Well, clean it. Yep.
A foot short of the tee.
Take it to the tee. Hard.
Whoa.
Hard.
Good. Whoa. Good shot. Good shot, Mark.
Well, they split the difference 6 inches short of the tee.
It's a good shot, but it's well over there, and that's the main thing.
I want to, if he rolls, at least he's behind the line, and that's why I wanted to go a little farther back.
Yeah, well, the rolls are so tough out here. Yeah.
But playing that first rock too cute, actually, it's burned them here, because he has this opportunity. Mind if Jeff hadn't stuck on the side over the side on that side rock, then Mark could have come in behind the guard anyhow.
To the final rock of the fifth end for Jeff Stoutton. First and foremost, he wants to make sure he gets a piece of the Olson stone.
Good.
A little bit of a roll, not much.
So it's been a patient game, a waiting game for Mark Olsen, and it's about to pay off.
Well, actually, he just got a break on Jeff's first rock. Just as they say, they misjudged that, and now they hit for deuce. But actually, most of the game so far, Stoughton has been putting the pressure on Olson, but in this, it just turned around to that one rock.
I'm going to play down weight. Give me a little more ice, just a fraction. Has a bit of it. What? I'm going to throw it down. Yeah. Whoa.
He's got to curl a little more, and he's got it.
Great shot.
The hit for two, and Mark Olsen has taken the lead on Jeff Stoutton at the break. It's 2-1 in this B-side semifinal for the champion from 1981.
For over a quarter of a century, Bill Knight has been dressing up the floors of Winnipeg. Any style, any budget, Bill Knight is a name you've come to know and trust.
And now, we're working on the next generation.
Bill Knight Flooring and Carpet, fashion at your feet for over 28 years.
At Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, the things our chairs can do go on and on and on and on. In short, your choice will do anything but just sit there.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries presents one sweetheart of a sale just in time for Valentine's Day. Over 150 gorgeous Lazy Boy chairs on display and priced as low as $379. Come in today and find your true love.
To all those who will have made the commitment, the sacrifices, and ultimately the journey to Winnipeg this summer, the Ford and Mercury dealers of Manitoba would like you to know that because you've already gone further than most people will ever get, the very least we can do is be here to help you go the rest of the way.
Mountain Dew, a smooth, one-of-a-kind blend of citrus flavors. Mountain Dew quenches your thirst like no other. One taste and you'll agree, it's dew-rific.
Drink Mountain Dew and you'll discover what's inside quenches like no other. A blend of citrus just for you, so smooth it goes down easy too.
Neato!
That's a classic.
Great returns.
Manitoba jobs.
And the tax savings are great.
You too can save up to 80% in taxes on your RRSP investment, but there's more.
It feels great to keep my money at home and still get a good return.
Look at just some of the companies in which Crocus has invested. Call for this free booklet today. The Crocus Fund, bringing your investments home.
Wait.
Looks refreshing. Tastes refreshing. Labatt Light, right out of the ice.
The Fifth End Break is brought to you by Labatt Light and by Centra Gas.
Welcome back to Global's live coverage of the 99 Safeway Select. We're at the midway point. Mark Olsen leading Jeff Stoutton, who is with our Kathy Gauthier.
Jeff, you kind of been all over them, and yet on the scoreboard it's 2-1 for Mark. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's one of those things. I mean, the guys are playing good, so we'll keep going. I mean, they've made a couple doubles, a triple, and we're losing 2-1. I mean, I just made a bad call on my first rock there. I don't know what I was thinking, but we had to hit it first before we thought of sticking. So, you know, that was pretty easy too for him. So, you know, we'll keep the pressure on him, and I'm sure we'll battle back and get some points.
Certainly in the third end, I know that you're talking about the double and the triple that Pete made. Was that a matter of putting rocks in the wrong spot, or just a couple of really good shots?
Oh, I mean, he made a great straight back tick bang triple. I mean, you know, we could have rolled further and you know, sort of eliminated anything like that, but you know, they still got to make triples and doubles. We're doing okay. Mark made a double and a nice hit and roll in the next end as well. So, you know, obviously we're making some shots early on. We're just gonna have to finish them off.
In the second 5, Jeff, because you have the advantage of having tomorrow, do you play this any differently than you played the rest of the week?
I don't think so. I mean, we're just going to try and win. Mark's going to throw one in the top 4, and we're going to throw a corner, and they're going to guard, and we're going to try and score some points. So I don't think you play any differently. You know, we have to take chances now because we're losing.
Okay, good luck in the second 5, Jeff.
Thanks.
Back to you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Kathy Gauthier. Jeff Stoutton doing a little play-by-play for us. He'll have the hammer in the 6th end. He trails 2-1.
Come for the flavor, come for the taste, stay for the good times, you know the place. We'll treat you special, we'll treat you right. You're the reason Chicken Chef is cooking something good tonight. Come on out, come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking something good for you. Come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking up something good for you.
It's cold, and starting your car is an excellent example of the painful process that comes with winter. There's always the old-fashioned way for those die-hard enthusiasts to enjoy waking up with the cold touch of winter. Or there's the civilized way. With valet car starters, you can warm up your vehicle from the comfort of your home or office. The choice is yours. Be civilized. See Crazy Crazy today. Don't be left out in the cold.
100 years have passed since Manitoba was the bustling gateway to Canada's western frontier, and Winnipeg was recognized as the Chicago of the North. The roaring game of curling has been a rich part of Manitoba's history throughout the past century, though playing conditions were not always what we've come to expect today. By the time Howard Wood was winning his 2nd British Consul's trophy, another Manitoba tradition had woven its way into the Canadian tapestry. Canada Safeway first opened its doors in Winnipeg on January 14, 1929. In those days, things were a little different at Safeway as well. The stores were smaller and the selection a bit limited, but the service and the commitment to quality was the same as it is today. Ken Watson carried Manitoba's curling tradition forward into the 30s and 40s, winning 4 Manitoba titles and 3 Canadian championships over that span. By the time rock and roll music was being born in the mid-50s, names like Jimmy Welsh and Billy Walsh dominated the men's curling scene, and a young teenager named Terry Bronstein shocked the field by winning the provincial title in 1958. Canada Safeway was expanding in Manitoba throughout that era as well, building bigger and better stores and reaching out to provide superior service to our prairie communities. Safeway stores can now be found throughout the city of Winnipeg, including in St. Vital at the corner of St. Anne's and St. Mary's Road, where Global Television is located today. As we approach the new millennium, curling is bigger than ever in Canada. Television ratings have skyrocketed, the Cashbiel circuit is growing steadily, and Olympic medals are now awarded in the sport. Canada Safeway continues to grow alongside the game of curling, reaching more and more centers in Canada and revolutionizing the way we do business. Stores now average 35,000 square feet. They feature specialty departments and offer products from around the world. The relationship between Safeway and the sport of curling is a natural. It will continue to grow and prosper in the many Manitoba communities that both are so much a part of.
Well, Mark, the pressure's on you. Jeff's in a position where he's got another day. You have to win this game. Do you feel that extra pressure?
No, I think we play things so simple that not really thinking about pressure, just functioning on the ice and making sure we're trying to be as aggressive as we can be and as we need to be.
In the third end, you guys got yourself into a bit of trouble. Lots of rocks in play. Pete made a couple of good shots. We're going to see more of that?
Let's hope not.
I was referring to
a little bit of trouble. That was like a lot of trouble, but Pete made, I guess he got 5 rocks out in 2 shots, but Jeff plays so aggressively sometimes, and today he hasn't played as aggressively that he usually does, but we probably will see some more fireworks before this game's out.
Okay, well, we look forward to a second good five, Mark. Good luck.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy Gauthier. Don Finkbeiner, some great action in the game between Burtnick and Bomer, and unfortunately for Dave Bomer, this end, which could have been so much more promising, he only gets one, trails Carey by 5-2, but he made a great shot with his first in that end.
Oh, in his first shot, he made a rock similar to what we saw Schmerler make in that pressure shot the end previously. He came off the side and came into the forefoot, off the side rock into the forefoot to make a hit for three, brought the crowd up on its feet, and then just Carey made a great straight back raise, and then now Bomer had a chance to come.
Pretty wide open hit for three.
Well, not really. He had to come through a port a bit there, but he had a hit for three, and missed. Gets only one, and boy, he just got back into that game. Not that he's totally out of it, but great opportunity missed.
Well, I think we're going to see some more rocks in play. You know, Mark didn't want to say too much off camera. He said we're going to have to go a little bit harder than that. So he recognizes that a team like Jeff is not someone that you want to be in a one-point lead, that you're going to have to force him to make some really good shots. And even with the rock on the Safeway S, Jeff is ignoring it and electing with Doug Armstrong, his lead, to go to the corner guard.
So the game is on.
The game is on.
Well, we've seen this before a bit starting, but then they just sort of back off a little bit here.
Be optimistic. Work with us here, Don.
Well, I'd like to see it more than anybody, of course, but
all right.
But they don't want to. They don't want to do anything foolish. Also, it's just far too critical a situation for them. Even if Stoughton can afford to lose, he doesn't want to have to. Because it makes it that step closer to winning the provincial title if he wins this game.
Oh, for sure.
Charlie Selena.
Needs to come for Ryan.
And of course, Charlie wanting to be top 12 is the call by Mark. It's not the weight's bad, it's just not finishing very good for him. Giving Jeff a chance to come in.
Take a look at the percentages.
And again, you would expect this sort of thing. Charlie's percentage is a little bit lower, and that's just because he's come in a couple of times. In a very simple game, you do expect to see percentages at this level very, very high. This showing certainly parity, although Pete's 95% is a little harder fought and come from. And this is an ironic one. You know, they're a 10% difference. What we're really seeing here is a really good example of why we're in such a tight game, is that they're very, very close at all positions.
But this is the sixth end now. They've had the first half of the game to check out each other and their strategy and that. And the sixth end is normally a time where somebody makes a mini sort of move on something like that. So we'll just see what, especially Stoughton here, he's with the hammer. We'll see what he's prepared to do gambling-wise.
Gary Vandenberg's rock stopping in front of the house, and Mark Olsen asking Dean Dunstone to remove it.
Take it out.
And rolls in and actually provides some protection for his rock on the button.
Well, and that's as good as the shot that Charlie had thrown before. It's half guards it, it's in play, forces Jeff to consider what he wants to do with it.
Normal. He wants Gary Vandenberg to remove that rock at the top of the house and roll over behind the long guard. Jeff Stoutton with the last rock advantage in this end.
Good. Cut a little more than he wanted on that. He'd like to have at least split the back ones out, or even hit and roll over behind towards their corner guard over there.
But it's interesting. It looks from the overhead camera that it's Mark's just double checking as well that it is on. Mark initially was planning to play a guard to really, look at stealing that point. Now that he's looked at it again and feels that it is on, it's something that he wants to remove and just get out of there altogether.
Yep. Finish. Finish. Finish.
You know, we talked about Mark Olsen, of course, winning the Manitoba Championship and the Brier. That was back in 1981. Of course, he was the third for Kerry Burtnick, and they came back from long odds, scoring 3 in the final end to defeat the Iceman, Al Hackner. And there is the team, and there is Mark Olsen.
Yeah, I remember.
18 years apart.
I remember sitting on the floor in the living room watching that. Don, of course, you were working and married at that point.
Oh, sure. And you were how old?
Oh, I was young. I was
10.
You didn't 4. You didn't even know what curling was. What are you talking about?
That's a long time between
I was a
championships.
veteran playing against them and losing in the provincials earlier to them.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, it's a bit of a roll, but certainly it's something that Jeff can see. The question is now, what do you do?
Olsen lying 2.
Yep. Well, it's moving over towards that guard for Jeff. This is all right. Gets a hit and roll in behind.
Hack, wait. Okay.
It's really important for them if they're going to take 2 points to stick around on this. So they're looking to play hack weight. Removing the rock altogether is really not that important to Jeff. Moving it back to the back 12 and certainly rolling with Jonathan's behind the guard is the key thing here.
Good.
He's a nice controlled weight. You know, you can't throw him too much softer than that, but just won't move on them.
I'm just seeing how much room there was. What do you want to throw, bump?
No, easy hit.
Okay.
No more?
No. No. Right off.
Yep.
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 Hard.
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 Hard. Right over. Hard, 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 hard.
And rolling away from that long guard.
Yeah, that's a good call. When you see it's at least going to stick around the house, you want to, if you're not going to make the roll in behind the guard, roll further away the other side if you can. B plan.
I don't curl hard there, eh?
Nice shot.
That's a great shot.
He may have rolled out a little bit into the open on the other side.
I don't know. It looks pretty good.
Maybe a little further. I think Mark can see it. He looks like he's going to go after it. Just open.
Just.
He can also deflect off his own if he gets outside on it.
Pete, don't play it. Don't play too tight to the guard. Okay.
Doesn't want to get cute, referring to earlier.
With the guard.
You can see just on the ice there behind Mark the frost that's built up on the outside. One of the risks of playing a shot further out there is that because of the humidity in the building tonight, we're starting to see frost for the first time. What that will make a rock do is stay really, really straight. If anything, it may in fact even sort of pull the rock out a little bit. And of course, the risk for Mark on that shot is that if it does float out a little bit, it's his own that he's going to be hitting out there.
Boy, it looks like a lot of ice.
You can see the rock just pulling back a bit there.
Whoa, 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 Jess.
Nice shot.
Nice shot indeed.
Well, 2 schools for Jeff. And that's what he's going to just play the draw. See, for Mark on that last shot, he sat in the hack, thought it was a lot of ice. And as it was, you know, we saw it back up a little bit, hit a little bit of that frost. And as it was, he hit and he rolled out the outside. So he certainly didn't need that extra ice. It was a good call from the hack to take less.
Mark's a great hitter. You know, he always has been. As a matter of fact, arguably the best third in the 80s, in the early 90s even. When he was playing with Burtnick and then later with Peters. He was a fabulous hitter. Always been. So it's you rarely see Mark miss any sort of hit. So he's extremely accurate. And those are difficult shots on the side. Any curler who's ever gone for those. You have to be technically very smooth on those.
And Jeff is certainly playing for 2 here. If he was prepared to just, you know, let her go, he'd be playing the hit off the side, but he's got that corner. He wants to use it now.
Line's good.
An opportunity to put some pressure on Mark.
He's coming back a bit here.
So he's got quite a bit of weight.
BB in behind the tee line. But that stayed awfully straight. Look at that.
Yeah, it didn't finish very hard,
Not
did it?
at all, no. Because it was good line, as you said, halfway down, good line. Hold it, but...
hey, pretty much.
Let's see what it says to John.
But the key for Olson here is it's at least behind the tee line.
Just comes down a little bit early. It's perfect, eh? Yeah. It's close. That would have been pretty tight if you had to go, though, I guess, eh? But if you go, you're going to hold it, so... Yeah. Yeah.
At least he's forced Olson into a draw. As I say, the advantage for Olson is behind the tee line, so he can corner freeze it a bit and still get away with it, and Jeff only get 1. But if he's light and open slightly, he can give Jeff the chance for a deuce.
You know, one of the things, I mean, Jeff certainly was looking to be in front of the tee line. Maybe we'll get a chance to time this one of Mark's, this draw, to see if it's a little quicker. This afternoon, Jeff was throwing on 21 and a half second ice. Earlier in reading the ice, we suggested to you it might be closer to 23 tonight. We'll see on Mark sort of where it is at.
Well,
fortunately, we won't, but we will get back to you later.
He's a long way out on this one.
Oh, he sure is.
Whoa, whoa. Yep.
Whoa!
Can you bump it through?
Whoa!
He's got a lot of weight.
Trying to bump it out.
No, that's not what they want, yeah.
Square, Pete. Let it curl.
It's bad communication.
Yeah, you see, they both had different thoughts on that one. Pete thought was trying to knock it out.
Open is no good either.
Yeah, miscommunication there badly on that. That's going to cost them. See what he says to Pete here, because they both have different ideas.
Maybe after this ends over, let's see if we can do something with that sticker. I'd hate to see it fall off on a hit or something and somebody pick that up. I don't know if it's stuck at all. No, I think it'll be all right now. Right. I hope.
Talking about the numbered the numbered sticker, I think, on the rock.
Easy. Clean.
Final rock. Jeff Stoutton with a chance to hit and stick for 2 and the lead again.
He's got it. As soon as the guys yell clean, you know he's got it. Well, Mark's not impressed with this. They knew they sort of blew that one, so they certainly gave them a chance to get back into it, which they did.
So it's 3-2, Jeff Stoutton, after 6 ends of play of this B-side semifinal.
Looks refreshing. Tastes refreshing. Labatt Light. Right out of the ice.
Granny's Manitoba poultry hits the spot with every mouthful. Imagine the warm aroma of a Granny's turkey fresh out of the oven. As its sweet smell wafts through the house, it takes you back to family celebrations of days gone by. At Granny's, we're dedicated to making your family gatherings memorable year after year. Granny's Poultry, proudly Manitoba's only turkey processor.
Farm fresh taste and country goodness, Granny's.
Sometimes the right decision is all a body needs. Well, I've made the right decision, and I've chosen proven seed. And it makes me feel so satisfied looking out across my land. I've got the power to succeed right here in my hand. Proven seed, giving me the power
The Safeway Select is brought to you by Canada Safeway, because we care.
Each spring, thousands of canola growers throughout Western Canada make the trip to their proven seed retailer with just one thing in mind: the Smart Canola System. That's because Pioneer brand canola varieties with the Smart trait deliver higher yields. And the system's broad-spectrum herbicides, Odyssey and Pursuit, deliver cleaner fields.
Smart choice. Great minds think alike.
Make the smart choice. Call your proven seed retailer.
True Value Hardware roots for over 1 million Canadians who wear 2 different shoes, slide on ice, and throw stones at buttons in houses. From the regional playdowns to the Labatt Brier, we cheer them on as the official hardware supplier to curling's Season of Champions. True Value, around the corner from your house.
For over a quarter of a century, Bill Knight has been dressing up the floors of Winnipeg. Any style, any budget, Bill Knight is a name you've come to know and trust.
And now, we're working on the next generation.
Bill Knight Flooring and Carpet, fashion at your feet for over 28 years.
It's Manitoba versus British Columbia in round-robin action at the 98 Brier. Up 5-3 on Greg McCauley in the 7th end. Dale Duguid faces 3 BC counters with his last rock. Manitoba skip coolly executes this beautiful hit and roll behind cover to steal a point and up his lead to 6-3. Duguid went on to win the game 7-6 over McCauley.
Under Pressure is brought to you by Crocus Investments and Wellington West Capital, and by Icon Office Solutions.
Well, he's beating BC last year, and now he's trying to represent them this year. Of course, we're talking about Dale Duguid and that under pressure shot, and someone who is under pressure right now is Mark Olsen, and under pressure to maintain his composure because he's still seething over what happened in that last end.
And certainly in our afternoon game, if you had an opportunity to catch it, one of the under pressure shots was the one that Kerry Burtnick made against Kevin Martin in the Brier, and we talked about how Kevin talked about it the whole game. At the 5th end, or rather at the commercial break, you know, Mark and the team were talking, and Mark clearly is not very pleased at the decision sort of halfway down to take the rock, and you know, the sweepers don't know what to do, they're just listening. Pete, I guess, feeling that if they could bump it right out, it was a good shot, which it was, but they decided too late. You know, Mark feeling that they had the lead, they shouldn't have let it go. So it doesn't really matter at this point. You know, they've given up the 2, just get on with it. They're only down 1 point, and they have last rock, but Mark's clearly not very happy, and he needs to get beyond that.
Well, what happens too also as a result of that is not the way he actually sits in the hack to throw his own rocks now. It's the way he calls the game. He can sometimes guys tend to, like, he plays a pretty conservative game. Sometimes then they turn, because they're a little upset, they tend to go emotional and very aggressive. They just turn their game plan all around. They get away from their focused game plan, and they start to gamble like crazy because they're really upset at the shot, and sometimes that can backfire on you too. So we'll have to just see what happens with Mark. But obviously it's sort of a key emotional kind of turning point in that game.
Yep. Yep. Hurry! Hurry! Whoa!
Shot.
Nice shot.
Let's update you on that other game between Kerry Burtnick and Dave Bomer, and Dave Bomer having Kerry Burtnick on the run ever since giving up that 3. And here, Kerry Burtnick gives up the steal of 1 in the 6th end.
Good shot to give up a steal of 1.
Well, that's true, and he was lying the big 3 on him.
Space and 3, very.
Right. I think he breathes a sigh of relief to dodge a bullet to get out with only 1 against him on that. So Burtnick definitely is not out of this game, you know, with a victory just yet. He's going to have to work for it.
5-1 at 1 point, 5-3 the score now.
And so second man, Dean Dunstone, again for Mark. He's looking to get his 2 points back. That's the best way to rally from something like, you know, a disappointing 2 that they just gave up, and not looking for the double, just to kind of move rocks around. And maybe roll behind that guard.
That's fine.
That's good. He's moved, you know, essentially one of Jeff's rocks behind the tee line, which is behind the guard. So even if Jeff removes this, it does give the Olsen squad an opportunity to play freezes down later.
He can still do actually, I think he can get away with a hit and roll in behind that guard and still miss the back one. So
sure.
I think actually Dean moved them a little too far.
Hip. Whoa. Hip. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Come on!
And the good sweeping by Jeff Stoutton removes that Olson counter.
Well, it was a great shot, but it just died near the end, just maybe a fraction too light on him. Otherwise, he does get the hit and roll in behind the guard. Misses the back one, but now he sort of set it up a little bit. Mark's going for the, if he does go for the hit and roll, he won't make the double.
Or that little hit inside roll.
And the nice shot from Dean Dunstone.
Nice double.
All right, Don Finkbinder, get on your thinking cap.
Oh, trivia time.
You're always coming up with these tough select questions from eras bygone or not known to us. But here's my question to you. Name the last team to use corn brooms in the Manitoba men's final. The championship final game.
Last team, did the team win?
I'm not giving
geez,
you that
not
hint.
Even a hint at all. Okay. Oh, geez.
And for you at home, please think about this one as well. It's a tough question.
Oh, I'm gonna stick my neck. When do you want me to come up with my guess on this?
Anytime.
Oh boy.
And if you get this right, you need another life.
Oh, so I win or I lose no matter what.
Either way.
Oh. I'm gonna. Gee, I'm gonna go with Dwayne Edwards.
Play 3/4 again.
Well, that's good that you didn't get it right.
Oh, well, that's a good guess, though.
No, it's not really a good guess. It's before that.
Yeah.
I'll give you a second guess.
Okay.
Kathy, you can get in on this.
No, I have no idea. I'm sorry. I mean, I can think of players like Doug Harrison who have used
maybe Orest Malchuk
over time. But
Orest Malchuk in '89.
Nope, wasn't Orest in '89 either. We still have to go further back. But that is a
very
good shot.
Nice shot by Peter.
Or you can make me just spend the whole rest of the evening trying to guess this.
Well, it was a losing team.
That's a really. Sorry to break it up, boys, for one moment. That's a really important shot by Peter because not only is it a great shot, but mentally, Pete's been feeling really bad since the last call. You can tell he was really close because they were yelling, yeah, whoa, all the way. Mark's calling it. He was yelling, whoa, yeah. You can see that it looks like he starts to get the roll and it backs up a little bit at the end. And then just at the end, it goes the amount it needs to. And like I say, because Pete feels he miscalled the last one, and he did, it was really important for him to make that shot.
There's a nice shot.
And there's a nice shot by Jonathan, but it does still leave the center guard.
What's that? I was trying. Thanks, Mark. Sorry, Jeff. That was stick the whole way.
Yeah. Oh, geez, wait a minute. No, Joe, I'm going to have to go back a little further then, I think. Okay.
Good throw. Thanks.
One more guess, and then we'll let the audience at home and you know the answer. Chance here for the Olsen team to get one behind some cover.
Pete going to the in turn, that's Pete's preferred turn for two reasons. One, he just happens to like it more, but the other one is that Pete's in turn curls a lot more than many other people's, and so for him it's the best opportunity to bury, but only if he's got the right weight. Yeah, just a little heavy.
All right.
Okay, I'll go with Brian White in 1980.
Was earlier, well, later than that. And the answer is the last team to use corn brooms was Gary Ross in the 1982 final against Mel Logan. And there's proof. Dave Romano. Oh, that's the front end, I think. Curling, sweeping. And there's Dave Romano, the third. Nice shot there from Gary Ross. But Mel Logan won that final in 1982.
Oh, so I sort of got all around it, but never.
You weren't even close.
No, not really.
You know who got that answer, though, this week? Mark Olsen?
Well, yeah, because he was there in '81. Of course, he's younger. You know, his mind will go later too. You see.
His selective memory is a little better than yours.
I guess so.
It's an interesting call by Jeff. The center guard is up, and Jeff doesn't have last rock. It's an opportunity for him to steal. He does have a center guard. He's electing to play sort of down to it. He wants to bump it up rather than just playing the draw.
Yeah, in behind the guard.
Come on.
No, he's okay.
Oh, he is okay, but he's rolling out, which allows Mark to make it even better.
I thought he had the weight to stick around.
So as Kathy said, with Jeff Stoutton rolling out, Mark Olsen can now get behind that center guard and possibly pick up his 2 that way.
Well, maybe if we get an opportunity again, we'll take a look at the time on this.
Guys? A little keener here, I hear. Eh?
Probably one of the reasons he's saying that is because Pete, who's usually very good on weight, was really deep in the house. And like I had mentioned earlier, it was 21-22 this afternoon. And whether it's just a quick path, we suggested to you earlier it might be as quick as 23. And we'll get an opportunity if Mark is close on draw weight here. He's just tight to the guard.
He's going to go way back, though. That's the problem. Boy, that may even go through. No, just stick around at the back. Perfect. Close. Bad for weight.
Pete says perfect, but 25.4 to there. So it is, in fact, a quick path and a little quicker than it's been.
There's another missed opportunity.
Should take over, eh? That's nice.
Need a new head, Gary.
Well,
for
they're laughing.
Jeff, not only was it heavy, but it came out the other side, so he's got a relatively easy shot. He'd like to stick around to force Mark to have to make a shot to blank, but it's certainly not going to concern him too much if he rolls out. Again, you know, certainly opportunities for both Peter Nichols and for Mark Olsen with the guard up to put some pressure on Jeff and just letting him off the hook.
No. Nice brush, Mark. Never mind.
Actually, they're goofing around a fair amount here. I'm a little surprised, even if it is, but it's still for the provincial championship. And
Pete does not want us to hear what he's saying.
No, and I'm not, you know, I'm kind of surprised actually that they are being so casual about this. I know in my experience, I never played a game like this in a provincial championship where we were laughing so much. It just didn't. Never seemed to occur. So sometimes the guys, it depends on the personality of the individual, but sometimes the guys lose a little focus on this and realize they're forgetting what they're playing for. So I am a little surprised that they are a little so casual about this.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. I got the roll.
Certainly a lot of that's Pete. Mark's still pretty intense.
And the good sweeping by Pete Nichols gets that rock out. So a blank end here in end number 7. Jeff Stoutton maintaining his lead 3-2 over Mark Olsen.
It's $1 million twice a week. It's a game we call our own. Western 649. Here at home.
Introducing Western 649. It's our own $1 million lotto. Play the new game in town at any Manitoba lottery ticket center.
From ear to ear. Okay, smile. And remember this, my friend, the buck stop here, buck stop here.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building those castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I.
Some Air Miles rewards don't involve air travel at all, but they still bring people closer together.
Just the two of us.
The Safeway Select is brought to you in part by Icon Office Solutions, Work to Win, and by Pepsi Cola.
Mountain Dew, a smooth, one-of-a-kind blend of citrus flavors. Mountain Dew quenches your thirst like no other. One taste and you'll agree, it's dew-rific.
Drink Mountain Dew and you'll discover what's inside quenches like no other. A blend of citrus just for you, so smooth it goes down easy too.
Neato!
That's a classic.
As a member of the RCMP Forensics Lab in Winnipeg, Randy Prokopanko has been instrumental in improving the quality of roadside alcohol test equipment in Manitoba, earning him the respect of police officers across the province.
I think that's the best part of the job, is knowing that I've made a difference, or I've tried to help an investigator, that they are using the information and the knowledge that we've imparted.
Randy Prokopanko, winner of the 1998 Roadwise Community Individual Award.
Imagine, nearly a third of Manitobans participate in amateur sport. It's a part of our culture.
Play to win.
The economic benefits are everywhere. When you get involved, we all win.
Play for fun.
It's about self-confidence, leadership, commitment to goals. It's about balance for everyone, for life.
Play for life.
24-year-old Chad McMullen is one of the young guns on the Manitoba curling scene. The Valor Road skip won his zone to qualify for the 99 Select, and then went on a phenomenal run at this year's MCA Bonspiel. McMullen captured the Safeway Lucerne event and the Grand Aggregate Trophy. He finished the world's largest Bonspiel with an impressive 15-1 record and was named the 7th seed at this year's Select. McMullen was the 1996 Manitoba Provincial Mixed Champion and the 92 Manitoba Junior Champion as well.
Select Company is brought to you by United Grain Growers, meeting farmers' business needs.
Well, after some scary moments for Gary Burtnick in the 5th and 6th ends, he comes back in the 7th end with a draw 4-2 against Dave Bomer, and now has again a comfortable lead 7-3 in that other B-side semi-final. Gary Burtnick trying to stay alive with a win tonight. Here in our game, 2 rocks in the rings, 1 outside. The ones in the rings belong to Jeff Stoutton.
Certainly, Mark, you know, the 8th end is an end where he'd really like to see some points go up on the board, and preferably in his favor. He's down 1. For the first time this game, he is ignoring the 2 rocks in the house and throwing 2 corner guards with Lee, Charlie, Selena. Of course, the difference is that neither of the rocks in the house are in the 4-foot, which really is the area that poses the biggest threat to the steal.
Well, he's also getting, it's pretty late in the game now. He's really got to start to make a move here. You don't want to just lose by 1 to Stoughton. You got to go for it and start throwing some punches here. Otherwise, so what if you lose by 1 or lose by 4 or 5 or 6? It doesn't really matter. You got to try to win now. Also, that was a nice feature on Chad McMullen. When you look around at the veterans here, and 24 is the you know, if you're listening, I want to make sure you guys stick together here for a while. And when you look at trying to break through into the company of the Stoughtons and the Burtnicks and the Peters and the Olsons, etc., who are much older and more experienced, you still gotta pay your dues all the time to be able to get to be able to play and beat these kind of guys all the time. But the only way to do it is through just sticking together, and they obviously are off to a fabulous start in their careers.
They're a really, really good team.
It's a heck of a team.
They just ran into a very hot Mr. Benson twice.
Figures.
Okay. Well, Gary Vandenberg removes one of the guards and pushes the other one into the rings.
Sort of a bad break there, and you could hear Jeff mumbling. Oh, it figures it just, it's the way it goes in there.
Want to play this? Yeah, nose is good. Come on. Come on, guys, hard! Hard! Hard!
Well, they were sweeping right out of his hand. Well, great sweeping.
Boy,
I mean,
he
he
got
took
away
the
with-
front one, and he still managed to
Well, it
stick
catches
there.
a little more of the front one. Not only he doesn't remove it totally, but he goes past the back one too. So he sort of got away with it a little bit there.
Yeah, and he knows it too.
Vandenberg just a little outside of the broom. You can tell as soon as he let it go, he screams yells whoa, which is a good indication that they're outside.
The Portage committee of this Safeway Select would like to thank their local sponsors: Portage Credit Union, Source for Sports, Monroe Farm Supplies Limited, Sure Grow Farm Services Limited, UGG, Dundonald, Newton Enterprises, Newton Do It Center, and of course Canada Safeway.
Good, you know.
Well, it's a good shot in the fact that he removed it, but unfortunately, the way that it wound up, it's a really very simple double. Showing the board of the officials. There's officials on each of the sheets to chart the rocks, and the reason that they do that is should something happen that one of the players falls and moves the rocks, they would have somebody who is technically in an unbiased situation to come in and replace the rocks as close to as possible where they were before.
Jonathan Meade trying for the double.
Whoa. Lots of weights. That'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
He had a nice jam there. Great shot.
Good sweep, Jeff.
Thanks, John.
John's sort of a lively guy. And
way better than that. Didn't look like it was going to be that when we hit a lot of it.
Actually, it's weight that saved him on that one.
it truly is. Yeah, it wasn't where he hit it.
Well, it looks like a lot. Stay close. Stay very close. Get ready to sweep.
Just when you start to get a lot of rocks in play, somebody comes up with a double or a triple in this game here to just eliminate every possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a lot of blanks, but it's really not indicative of the number of rocks in play. We've had quite a number of ends, and somehow when the dust clears, there's only been one left.
Whoa, easy.
Shot.
Situation now for Mark Olsen, where he's probably thinking about how to generate some offense now in the ninth end.
Well, you know, your philosophy changes a lot if you're tied up or you're one down going into the ninth end. At that point, you say, do we want to blank this and be one down coming home with, or take 2 or 3? But I suggest that if we get through this with a blank, if things don't work for Mark really early, he'll be very content to just go to the 10th.
Yeah, he'll start swinging early in the end on the ninth, hoping to get, like even if you get a 2, that's not great. You have to sort of gamble and try and get a 3 if you can. And if you look looks early like you can't do it, then you might as well bail out and try and blank it, and then try and get your dudes coming home to win.
You bet.
That's what the free guard zone has made it even a little more precarious in that ninth end. You got to be very careful.